Good morning, everybody. Our career of the week this week is all around the sporting industry and things like that. So, our guest speaker today is Vanessa, and Vanessa is a swimming instructor, amongst other things. So, Vanessa, would you like to introduce yourself
Yes.
and
Hi,
what you
everyone. Okay, thanks, Angela, for inviting me, and hello, everyone. My name is Vanessa Vajana. I'm a swimming instructor, and I'm currently waiting for certification also to be an open water coach. So I'll be able to teach people how to swim in open water, so lakes, sea, and rivers as well. I also do other things. So I'm a life coach as well, and I teach English to foreign students. But today we're going to talk about being a swimming instructor. So I'll give you a little bit of a background about myself. I used to work for large companies. So I used to be a project manager, but then my health deteriorated. So I was not able to continue with that work. And while I was doing some rehabilitation, I got back into swimming. And my love for swimming really spiraled a bit because swimming actually helped me manage my health, both physically and mentally. It helped me challenge myself because I set myself challenges, small challenges at first. So in the pool, and then I actually started challenging myself long distance. So I've become a bit of an endurance swimmer. So I've swum 2 events raising money for charity. So one was a 6 kilometer swim in the River Arun in West Sussex. Right. And the other one was a 10 kilometer swim in the River Dart in Devon. And as I said, and through that, I've helped myself get better, but I've also raised money for 2 different charities. One was for spinal cord injury charity, and the other one is for carers who look after people. It also gave me a chance to meet new people and to make new friends. And through that, I also started up a small group at the local leisure centre, helping people who had been off work and sick to get back into exercise and fitness and well-being, really. So I worked with the leisure centre on a voluntary basis for a year. And then they offered me, they said, why don't you become a swimming instructor? And I thought, oh, that's something different. So they actually were kind enough, because I had done a lot of voluntary work for them, to sponsor me to do the swimming instructor course. So it was a crash course for me. So I had to do the assistant swimming instructor and the swimming instructor at the same time. So wow. It was quite heavy going. So it ran over a full week of theory, and then it was another weekend after that, a few weeks after. But there was a lot of studying, a lot of lesson planning, a lot of work that I had to do to be able to get then onto the weekend course to then do the practical and pass. So I was really proud of myself, because I had never really been in a swimming team or anything like that. So it's mainly I taught myself how to swim. So I did have some lessons when I was younger, but then nothing since. So I did it all myself. It was really good. So being a swimming instructor, I work for the local leisure centre, obviously. So the rates of pay for per hour are based on sort of almost the minimum wage. So at the moment I'm earning £12 an hour. But if you work for private companies, then you might earn a little bit more. But you can also set yourself up as your own business. But then if you do that, you have to also factor in that you have to look for your own clients and also pay for rental of swimming pools. So,
and I don't suppose that's cheap.
No, it isn't. I've just been looking into that, and I've been quoted just for a lane £60 per hour. So wow. That gives you an idea of, then how much you have to charge your clients and whether that is feasible or not.
Yeah.
So working with a local leisure centre actually has been quite good. I work on a part-time basis and a flexible basis. So I don't have a contract with them. They normally call me when they need someone to cover their shifts. But I've actually been quite lucky because I've been given 3 different shifts, so regular shifts, so Tuesday afternoons, Wednesdays and Sunday mornings.
So it's not a 9 till 5 job Monday to Friday then?
No, it isn't. So it depends on what contract you have and who you have that with. Some people work full time, and so they work their hours through the week, but also the weekends. There's a lot of work going on at the weekends. And then there's lots of people are working part-time, so we work about 3 or 4 hours a day, normally in the afternoon. But if you deal with babies, then it's normally in the morning. But again, long shifts, and sometimes you have to be in the water for about 3 or 4 hours if you're teaching children.
So what's the youngest person you've had to teach?
A 3-year-old.
Ah.
Yeah, so
and the oldest?
And the oldest is 13.
Oh, right, okay. So is this something you'd always wanted to do, or was it
No,
just
not really.
purely?
It was purely by chance, and because I've been doing a lot of swimming, and really it's life events, you know.
Yeah.
My life went in a different direction, and then I just thought, you keep your mind open to different opportunities and see what comes up.
Yeah.
And because I really enjoy swimming, I'm really passionate about helping people to swim, learn to swim, and also to enjoy the open water, because I know of the benefits that it has on us personally.
When you were at school, did you enjoy school?
Yes, yeah, I did sort of. I was in school in Italy, because I was born in Italy, but also I spent 3 years. My dad was transferred to Turkey, so I spent 3 years in Turkey in a school there. We had sports at school in Turkey for 3 years. It was volleyball, so there's nothing to do with swimming.
No.
And in Italy at the time when I was in school, we didn't have any sports allocated.
When you were at school, did you get any careers advice to help you achieve your dream job?
No, it wasn't spoken about at the time, and also in Italy it's slightly different. You sort of at age 11 you decide what school you want to go into, and they're divided into technical schools, or you know, if you want to go into history and maths and all that sort of thing.
Okay.
So for me, when I was 6, I decided I wanted to be a nurse, because I had been in hospital a couple of times for some operations on my eye. So I had always said I wanted to be a nurse. But my dad used to work in a bank, so he wanted me to work in a bank as well. So my mum was saying no, she wants to be a nurse, and my dad was saying no, she must work in a bank. So I actually got sent to a school to help me gain the qualifications to be able to go to university and work in a bank. So I did all of that, but I followed my own dreams and I became a nurse.
So you talked about the open water swimming. Now I understand what open water swimming is all about, but I'm not sure that many of our students would have heard of it. Could you just expand a little on what that entails?
Yes, okay. So I wouldn't teach swimming as such.
No.
I will teach the technique of better swimming in the sea, in the rivers and in the lakes, to people who would like to either learn how to appreciate the nature, basically, or if they want to go into like a triathlon or long distance swims or races like that. So I can help them achieve a faster speed, and teach them how to go round buoys in races, how to start and stop. But the main thing that is really important when you're swimming outdoors is safety.
Yeah.
Because the water is very cold, and so it takes some time for the body to, you know, to adapt to that. So a lot of work around the open water coaching is around safety. So I would start with teaching people how to get into the water, how to acclimatize to the water, breathing, because it's all about breathing, and also what to do if they got into trouble.
I know it's quite a popular sport now.
Especially with COVID now, everybody is sort of, because all the pools were closed. So people that enjoyed a swim have now started going out in the water. So there's been a huge increase in people interested in getting out in the open water.
And with anything like that, the dangers involved are far greater than in a swimming pool, aren't they?
Yes, because you
So
don't have any lifeguards or anything like
no.
that at most of the beaches now.
So it's not something you should do without really knowing what you're doing.
Yes, even an experienced swimmer in the pool can find themselves in difficulty in the sea or the
Yeah.
river or the lake. And it's mainly to do with, one is the water temperature and panicking. There are lots of things lurking under the water that you can't see. So sometimes people get really freaked out if something touches their skin while they're swimming, and you find that people then sort of lose control, and that's when things can get really dangerous.
And also knowing the tides, they need to understand the tides.
Yes, and the rivers, because
Yeah.
the tides can be quite fast, and sometimes you have the current going one direction and the wind going in a different direction. So as you're sitting on the top, you look at the wind and you say, oh, okay, I'll be fine. But once you get into the water, you can feel the current is taking you in the different direction, and it becomes quite difficult to swim against the tide. So it's very important not to go on your own. Always tell someone where you're going, and swim with a buddy.
So what is the best bit about your job?
I enjoy helping people, and with my swimming instructor work, I'm mainly dealing with children. So the nice thing about that is that you're helping those little children to learn how to swim. So you're teaching them a skill, a life skill, that they'll remember for their life, really, and making it fun, and then seeing them progress. Like sometimes you've worked really hard to get them to float, and then when they actually do, I normally do a little dance.
So what's the worst bit of your job?
I think for me, because I have spinal problems, and especially at the moment with COVID, I'm not allowed to get in the water with the children.
Yeah.
So I'm teaching from the pool side, and I'm quite tall as well. And so by the time I've done my 3 hours, because I work 3 hours and I have no breaks, by the time I finish the 3 hours, I'm hobbling home. So I find it's very taxing on my body.
Is swimming instructing a sort of stable career, or does it fluctuate?
So a lot of swimming instructors, or even little schools, didn't manage to survive with COVID. So the swimming pools obviously were closed for a long time. So there is a lack of swimming instructors at the moment, because they've obviously gone and found other jobs. So there's that. So there's quite a big drive at the moment to recruit swimming instructors. So if you go on the Swim England web pages, there's always something going on there. They're trying to recruit people. There's been a big drive to get open water coaches up and running. So it's opened a lot of opportunities, but it also has meant that quite a lot of people have had to either adapt or move on.
So when you did your qualifications, did you have to pay for them, or did the leisure centre pay for them?
The leisure sponsored me to do the course, so they paid for it, but I had to sign then a contract, a contract to say that if I had left their services, if I didn't work for them or I didn't take any shifts, I would have to repay the money back.
Okay. So it's not something you can go to the local college and learn.
So it's quite expensive, actually. My open water coaching course, which was over 5 days, cost £400. Plus I had to get to the venue, which was just outside London. So I was quite lucky because I did most of it online. So if I had done it face to face before COVID, then it would cost me more, because I would have had to pay for a hotel for those 5 days.
So do you have to wear protective clothing?
Yes. So at the moment with COVID, we must wear the face shield. Just because because we can't wear the face masks, otherwise the children wouldn't be able to see our mouths when we speak.
Yeah.
So some children are hard of hearing, and
Yeah.
so they need to see your face. And also it's very, very hot. So if you're teaching, so there's a lot of walking up and down the pool, because obviously you're not in the water, so you're walking around the pool, making sure the children are safe and they're doing what they need to do and they're doing the technique correctly. So there's a lot of walking around. You've got the face shield in front of you, so it becomes very hot.
So I'm guessing you're not wearing a suit to work then?
No, I'm just wearing a t-shirt that has been given to me by the swim school. At the moment, we have a yellow t-shirt that says "Keep your distance," but normally we have a white t-shirt with a logo, the company logo, and then we're allowed to wear shorts to our knees, so we keep our modesty.
Yeah.
Or you can wear, if you're a girl, you can wear leggings. And the t-shirt is quite long, so it will cover your body part. When you're in the water, you still have a t-shirt, and then if you're in the water a long time, it depends on the school, but they would provide or help you buy sort of protective clothing, so rash vests keep you warm, and leggings.
Yeah.
And some schools provide you with like a very thin wetsuit.
Yeah. So when you're doing the open water coaching, do you actually go swimming with the...
I do, yes. So a lot of it is one-to-one. That's why I really enjoy it. So I get in the water with the client. So we have a session outside. So we say, this is what you're going to do. And then we get into the water together, so I can actually see them swimming and the technique, and then I'll ask them questions, and then we'll rectify things and make it work for them. So it's not about having a perfect technique, it's about what works for them, but thinking within the technique so that they can get out there faster. So it's quite taxing when you're in the water, especially if you have a fast swimmer, because you have to obviously keep up with them in the water.
Would you say this is your dream job?
It's part of my dream job, yes, because I enjoy it, and I enjoy being in water myself.
Yeah.
So yes, I do enjoy it. And what I'm trying to do now with life coaching as well, that I do, is trying to put the life coaching and the swim coaching together, and putting together a little package for people that are struggling with their body or their long-term health condition, getting back into swimming or some sort of sport.
Okay, so I'd like to thank you for joining us this morning. It's been brilliant.